The rain came down in a gentle pitter-patter, tapping a soft rhythm against Oliver's window. He rested his chin in his hands, watching the tiny raindrops race each other down the glass. A big sigh escaped his lips. "I really wanted to play outside today," he mumbled, his voice filled with disappointment. His soccer ball sat in the corner, looking just as sad as he felt. He imagined running through the park, kicking the ball high into the sunny sky, but all he saw was gray. "I know, sweetie," she said with a comforting smile, noticing his gloomy face. "The rain changed our plans a little, but you know what? That just means we get to have a different kind of adventure." Oliver looked up, a little curious. "A different kind?" "That's right," she replied, her eyes twinkling. "Let's try something new today, something special that's perfect for a rainy day." She gave him a little wink, and Oliver felt a tiny spark of excitement. Maybe a rainy day wasn't so bad after all. They put on their raincoats and boots, splashing through a few puddles on their way to the car. Soon, they pulled up in front of a big, quiet building with large windows. A sign above the door read City Library. Oliver had never been inside a library before. As his mom opened the heavy wooden door, a warm, gentle quiet washed over them. It smelled like old paper and new adventures. Oliver's eyes grew wide. He looked up and up and up. Bookshelves taller than he could have imagined stretched all the way to the high ceiling, creating towering walls of colorful spines. They were filled with books of every size and shape imaginable. "Wow," Oliver whispered, his voice barely making a sound in the peaceful room. "There are so many books." He felt like he had just stepped into a magical forest where the trees were made of stories. Oliver slowly walked down an aisle, running his fingers lightly over the spines of the books. There were picture books with shiny covers, thick chapter books with serious titles, and tall, thin books about stars and planets. It was a little overwhelming. "How do I pick just one?" he wondered aloud. A friendly librarian with a warm smile and kind eyes must have heard him. "That's the hardest part, isn't it?" she said softly. "What kind of stories do you like? Do you like brave knights, talking animals, or maybe spaceships that travel to distant galaxies?" Oliver's face lit up. "I like adventures," he exclaimed, then quickly lowered his voice to a whisper again. The librarian chuckled. "I have just the thing." She led him to a special section and pulled out a book with a vibrant cover. It showed a brave explorer with a compass, standing at the edge of a mysterious, glowing jungle. "This one is full of puzzles and hidden treasures," she said. Oliver's heart beat with excitement. He thanked the librarian and found a comfy, round chair in a quiet corner. He opened the book and the world around him melted away. As he read the first page, his imagination took flight. Suddenly, he wasn't in the library anymore. He was right there in the story, swinging on a vine across a deep canyon. Just like the explorer, the illustrations in the book seemed to move and shimmer. He saw sparkling waterfalls and heard the calls of exotic birds. He followed a treasure map through a maze of ancient trees, his heart thumping with every new clue he discovered. Each page turned was a new step on an incredible journey. The library was no longer just a building full of books. It was a portal to 100 different worlds, and he was the hero in every single one. Just as he was about to discover a hidden cave behind a waterfall in his book, Oliver looked up for a moment. He saw another child, a little girl with pigtails, standing near a tall bookshelf. She was standing on her tiptoes, reaching for a book on a high shelf, but she just couldn't quite get it. She looked a little frustrated and confused. Oliver remembered how he felt just a little while ago, not knowing where to start. He closed his book, marking his page, and walked over to her. "Do you need some help?" he asked gently. The girl nodded shyly. Oliver was a little taller, and with a small stretch, he was able to carefully pull the book from the shelf. It was a book about friendly dragons. "Here you go," he said, handing it to her with a smile. The girl's face brightened. "Thank you," she whispered. Oliver then pointed to the cozy reading corner. "There are some really comfy chairs over there if you want to read," he suggested. She nodded again, and soon they were sitting near each other, both lost in their own quiet adventures, sharing the peaceful space. A little while later, the friendly librarian's voice echoed softly through the library. "Attention, everyone! It's time for a story," she announced. "Please join us on the story rug if you'd like to listen." Oliver saw kids of all ages leaving their chairs and gathering in a large, open area on a big, colorful rug that looked like a patchwork quilt. He saw the little girl he had helped, and she waved for him to join her. He scurried over and found a spot right at the front. The librarian sat in a big, comfy armchair and held up a large book with a picture of a smiling bear on the cover. As she started to read, her voice was full of expression. She made funny sounds for the animals and changed her voice for each character. All the children listened, completely captivated. Oliver leaned forward, his eyes wide with wonder, laughing with everyone else when the bear did something silly. The whole room felt warm and happy, filled with the magic of a shared story. When the story was over, everyone clapped. Oliver noticed that the pitter-patter of rain against the windows had stopped. Sunlight was starting to peek through the clouds, painting stripes of gold across the library floor. It was time to go home. His mom came over, and Oliver hugged the adventure book tightly to his chest. "Did you have a good time?" she asked. Oliver looked around at the tall shelves, the comfy chairs, and the smiling faces. He thought about the thrilling adventure he'd read, the new friend he'd made, and the wonderful story he'd heard. He looked up at his mom, his face glowing with a new kind of happiness. "I love the library," he said, his voice full of genuine joy. "Can we come back tomorrow?" His mom smiled and nodded. "Of course we can." As they left, Oliver held his new library card and his borrowed book. The world outside was fresh and clean after the rain, but the world inside his book promised even more excitement. He realized that day that you don't always need sunshine to have an adventure. Sometimes, the best adventures are waiting quietly on a shelf, ready to be discovered. New places, like the library, can bring the most wonderful and unexpected surprises. And as Oliver looked back one last time, he knew he had found a new favorite place. He hugged his book and gave a big, bright smile. Books really do make every day an adventure.